So, Charlie Kirk used to say that violence starts where conversation stops, that we have to have a human connection or things will go south very quick. When you stop having a connection with people that you disagree with, it's a lot easier to commit violence against them. And that's why a lot of his people say that he was a philosopher and a peaceful person. But if that's true, how come his people have been calling for a civil war over the last 8 years? Why haven't these people been a shining example of what it means to be peaceful? Why haven't they reached out and tried to have a conversation with people on the left that they disagree with? It seems like if they wanted to honor Charlie Kirk's memory, that would be the most logical thing to do, right? And I feel like the reason why is that's not why they specifically liked Charlie Kirk. That's not why they were there at all. They didn't want the peace sermon. And Charlie himself seemed to use it only as a palate cleanser after spending a couple hours berating people for being transgender or having a difference of opinion than he does when it comes to things like black people having rights, women having rights to their own bodies. Do Muslims deserve to be in this country since it's a Christian country? That is the sort of stuff they went to go see Charlie for. But now that he's gone, they use that quote to prove that he was a peaceful man. They don't use any of that hateful rhetoric that he said beforehand. I would absolutely love it if his people would reach across and try and make a human connection with the left, but I don't think that's what they want. Because when you hear all that conflicting information, the thing that you most associate with is the negativity, the thing that you think that separates you from the people that he doesn't like. Because you hear Charlie and you hear that he says that he's in the Christian Nationalist Club. You want to be part of that. You don't want to be part of the other side so much that he's making fun of. Pair that up with Trump's rhetoric, Fox News, the older millennial, and people like that yapping in their ear all the time. Of course they're not going to like us. They don't want to get to know us. They don't want to have a human connection. They don't see us as humans. We have been dehumanized in their brains. Even after the news came out that Charlie was taken out by one of their own, they still could not change gears. They were still like, no, we still have to hate the left. We can't go after this other group that's on our side. We hate the left. So now they're trying to do this mental gymnastics in their head, trying to say things like the shooter was in a relationship with a trans person. More that they're learning that it was somebody on their own side and there is a other faction of the far right in their own group. They don't want to go to war with them. They still want to go to war with us. Why? Because Trump and right-wing propaganda tell them to. They say that we're extremists. They say that we're anti-American. We're anti-free speech. Although they're the ones who are burning books and trying to make it illegal to burn the flag, which is a freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But what can we on the left do about this to try and help this change? Nothing. You can't logic somebody out of a situation that they didn't use logic to get into in the first place. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to let them play this out among themselves and hope that we still have a country when they're through.